Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Reeltv. On our show, we report and discuss the latest movie news as well as bring you the scoop from behind the scenes in Hollywood. I'm your host, Connor Smith.
And I'm also your host, Lindsey Lorifus. And today we'll be discussing the new releases on TV, the new premieres. And I'm super excited about this because I'm most pumped for Mom, which Anna Faris is in. And I love Anna Faris. She was in What's Your Number, Scary Movie, The House Bunny. And she's just so funny. She's so down to earth, and she really just uses all of her talents to bring comedy to the stage, basically, and I love watching her, so I'm really excited for that. And then, conversely, there's Dads coming out on Fox.
I know, I heard that was okay. The reviews were a bit bad. The reviews were okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's from Seth MacFarlane, I think. And back to Anna Faris, she's actually in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, too, this week. So this is just like the week for Anna Faris.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I've seen a couple of the premieres. I saw Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Andy Samberg, and it sort of revolves around these cops who, they're all silly. It's kind of like the Office of the cops. It's from the creator of Parks and Rec, so it kind of has that same Office feel to it. It's silly, it's funny, the performances were silly, and I really do want, it's a good thing when a pilot impresses you, because I feel like it's really hard for a pilot to get you to watch the second episode. I think that's the biggest thing that a pilot needs to do. It needs to leave you saying, come back and watch our show again next week.
That's very true.
It is, because if you watch the first episode and it's okay, you're not going to watch it again. So the hardest part is gripping you enough, making you laugh enough, scaring you enough to make you come back again.
I even found watching the commercials, they were really interesting. I'd be watching just any show on TV, and then I'd see their faces, and I don't know, it just makes me laugh. Just
Andy Samberg's funny.
Being on camera, I know, he's so funny. I love it.
I also saw Sleepy Hollow on Fox. I watched it because I was just bored, but it was really genuinely creepy. It's silly, and it's sort of Ichabod Crane wakes up in modern times, and he fought in the Civil War, so it kind of has that Enchanted, the Disney movie, where they just don't understand modern times, and he's like, oh, you know George Washington? It's just that kind of silly, but it was really, the action was cool in it. It isn't that substantial, but it's fun. And you know what? That's all shows need sometimes.
It honestly kind of freaks me out because Sleepy Hollow is really close to my hometown, Poughkeepsie, New York. So I pass it sometimes driving places, and I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen there? And so it's exciting that they're really making a TV show out of this.
I know. What other pilots are just oh my gosh, I need to watch that?
Almost Human.
Is that J.J. Abrams, or is that another show?
Yes, that is J.J. Abrams. And what's really awesome about it, so you have cops, and they're working with androids. They're human-like androids. And I find that it's really interesting that they're doing that now, because I was reading an article about the 2045 initiative and saying how at that point in time, we will take our brain stems and attach them to machines, and we'll become these human-like androids. So it'll be really cool to watch this show, and hopefully compare it to the year 2045 when we reach that point, and we'll be in our 50s, and we'll have to decide if we want to live forever or die. But if we choose to live forever, then we won't be able to eat and procreate and do all these things that we love, and so it's kind of an interesting predicament.
I don't know if I can give up chocolate forever.
I know.
What?
I know,
that would
seriously.
be hey, can I have some oil with my
Thanks.
with my checkup?
Really?
Get tuned up at the I don't know. That sounds awful.
Become the Tin Man.
What if you lose a part? That just does not sound that fun.
So
that's silly.
We'll have to see.
But also, would you want to be 50? It depends on you. I could see you being looking good at 50. But let's say
Thanks.
It becomes 70. You're 70 and you're old and just do you want to be old forever, or do you just want to
Because I definitely don't want to be rickety. And
I want to be this forever, young, stay in college forever. But then I'd get a real job, and people be you're 9. I'd be I know, but I'm 9 forever, so that's awesome.
That's a good life. It's always good to look young.
How do we get to that? But whatever. What other shows? I want to see Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. I'm a fan of the original show, and I'm kind of interested to see what this series does with new characters. And I always feel expanding universes is kind of cool. I know on the news today they're going to be talking about a Walking Dead spinoff, a Breaking Bad spinoff. It just seems there are these solid shows, and they have these universes, but it's cool that they're kind of expanding it. So I'm kind of excited to see how the new Once Upon a Time characters sort of fit into this universe with the old ones.
Yeah. And the actress who plays Alice, she looks really intense. She's
I heard
hardcore
I
with
know.
all the fight scenes and the violence, and so I feel like it'll be a fun take on that story.
Yeah, and apparently Jafar is going to be in it, like Aladdin Jafar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
They're jumping the shark episode 2, so
That's
we'll
pretty
see how that goes.
interesting.
What about Super Fun Night?
Oh my gosh, I love Rebel Wilson.
Me
Can I
too.
just say, like, I completely adore her.
I love her too.
Oh my gosh, she's so wonderful. It's so funny. I recently just watched her episode on Ellen when she came on and did a rap on her show. And she's just so fun-loving and captivating, and every human should be like that.
I know.
I want to campaign for her and be like, you need to talk to everyone and inspire them and just make life better. She's awesome.
In the preview, there was this one part where like they were gonna see who could get the most action tonight because they're like gonna go out and go to the clubs and stuff. And some guy like graces her boob, and she's like, I got some action. Like I got the most action tonight. Like it was silly. It was funny. But there are a lot of. Have you heard of Hostages with Toni Collette?
Yeah.
That looks kind of interesting.
That does look interesting.
I don't know. I feel like I mean, in the show, these people come into their house and take them as hostages. It's sort of simplistic, and I'm kind of wondering, like, how do you make that a whole 20 episode season, like
Actually,
without it
yeah.
like milking it and sounding like they're taking like season 2, they're taken hostage again. This time on a cruise. Like I feel like it would just be like, I don't know.
Especially because it's such a narrow time frame. Like this must happen only in 24 hours or so.
They should just bring back 24, which they are.
Oh, there you go.
I know.
Smart cookies, that's for sure.
What else is coming out? Because there are some cool things.
Yeah, there are some really neat things. I guess on the reality TV show side, they're coming out with American Dream Builders. And basically it'll be a competition series with different designers and architects and landscape architects. And they'll basically come together and have to build houses over this season. And by the end, 2 lucky home viewers will be able to actually live in these houses.
Aww.
And so, but the way that the competition is set up is they have to kick people off, sort of like Survivor. You know, if they lose a competition, then they're off that team. And so it'll be interesting to see the competitive side come out, and also just learning about designing and all of that. And my parents are architectural engineers, so they're really excited for the show.
Really?
So.
I love those shows that like benefit people. Like Survivor does not benefit anyone, but like weight loss shows, like, do you remember the show? It was canceled, but it was American Makeover Home Edition, and every episode they build someone a house, and you cried every time because they were like destitute and just at their last. And I mean, I feel like a show like that where they're building houses, but the people will get to live in the house.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's good too.
It's such a beautiful thing to be able to better our communities
Through
television and competition and
Shows
TV.
about robots and that benefits people too, gives people ideas. But I'm also excited to see, I kind of want to see it, but I don't know, the Michael J. Fox show.
Oh,
Have you heard of that?
Yes.
I love Michael J. Fox, and the fact that he got his own sitcom seems, I mean, in the commercial, they were making fun of his disorder when they're like, hey, can you pass the eggs? And he's like, but the fact that he's sort of self-deprecating about it, I feel like that's a good thing. Like, he's able to make fun of himself, but I mean, we'll see how it is.
And it's wonderful that he can bring light to his disease because not many individuals really know about it. And so it's a great opportunity to really show how that all works and how he can live and cope with it.
And I feel like that's really beneficial to the community. He has Parkinson's, right? Okay, yeah, I feel like that just, to have a disease like that and then be able to shine a positive light on it and be like, hey, we're normal, I feel like that's a good thing for a show to do.
That's so true. Especially with all of the anti-bully movements nowadays. Like it's really a wonderful way to transition into that.
I think that's sweet. Like, there are a lot of sweet shows coming out. That, and then the building houses one.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Some
that's
nice,
good.
heartwarming shows.
I know. But there are a lot of shows coming back, too. Like, all our favorite shows are coming back, right?
Oh, I can't wait.
I know. What are you interested in?
Oh my goodness. Well, American Horror Story.
You do love American Horror Story.
We will have to talk about that
We're
at
doing
another time.
All our viewers, why don't you tell them the big news?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have a Halloween episode where we discuss American Horror Story and Walking Dead because we are both obsessed with these two shows, and we just have to dedicate a whole episode to it.
Yeah, we're gonna have 4 kind of hosts that episode. We're gonna have 2 talk about American Horror Story, 2 talk about Walking Dead, and it'll be fun and it'll be just a really chill episode. So better tune in for that one.
Yes.
But like, what other shows are coming back that we're just like so pumped for?
Oh my goodness.
I like Nashville a lot.
Yeah.
With Hayden Panettiere, that's coming back. Revenge is coming back.
Yes.
I like Revenge.
Revenge is coming back.
What else? The Middle. Do you watch The Middle?
Oh, yeah.
I love that show. The Modern Family's coming back.
Of course.
Like Glee. Glee. I'm excited to see how that will go too.
I know.
What else is coming back? So many shows.
Yeah, there's just so many shows. It's hard to choose one because they just seem so part of our daily life that it's like, oh, I have to.
I know. Every day, usually something. Oh, we forgot to talk about the Marvel show.
Oh, yes.
I know. I'm excited to see how that'll go.
Yeah.
I do like. I liked the Avengers, and they killed off the agent who's like starring in the new Marvel show. So I'm kind of wondering like how that'll turn out. But I feel like Joss Whedon. I mean, you like Joss Whedon, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he was the showrunner. I think. Don't quote me on that, but it seems like a good idea to me.
I think it's a great idea.
I watch everything.
All of it.
That's why I have like 18 friends on Facebook because I just watch too much TV to actually go out of my way to make friends.
Yeah, who needs friends when you have television?
No, but like if I were stranded on a deserted island and I could have 3 friends, it would be Hulu, Netflix, and something else. I don't know, Xfinity.
IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah.
Have you seen the SpongeBob episode where he has friends and it's like a chip, a paperclip, and a napkin?
I adore SpongeBob.
I know, so do I. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll fill you in on some new releases coming out on DVD, Blu-ray, and video on demand.
Welcome back. Next Friday, Don John, Rush, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 are being released in theaters. In his directorial debut, Joseph Gordon-Levitt stars as John Martello, a man who objectifies everything in his life: his apartment, his car, his family, his church, and of course, his women. Yet, even the finest flings don't compare to what he achieves alone in front of the computer watching pornography. Dissatisfied, he embarks on a journey to find a more gratifying sex life, but ends up learning larger lessons of life and love through relationships and 2 very different women, played by Scarlett Johansson and Julianne Moore.
Also in theaters is Ron Howard's latest, Rush. The film tells the true story of the sporting rivalry between handsome English playboy James Hunt, played by Chris Hemsworth, and his methodical, brilliant opponent, Austrian driver Niki Lauda, who's played by Daniel Brühl. The story follows their distinctly different personal styles on and off the track, their loves, and the astonishing 1976 season in which both drivers were willing to risk everything to become world champion in a sport with no margin for error. If you make a mistake, you die.
Also in theaters is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. This time around, Flint Lockwood, played by Bill Hader, discovers that the food-making machine he created in the first film is still intact. The machine now creates mutant food beasts like living pickles, hungry crocodiles, shrimp pansies, and apple pythons. With the help of his friends, he must return to his hometown in order to stop the machine and save the world.
That's a lot of puns.
It is.
I feel like puns are funny, but come on, like...
It's a little too many puns.
A little too many puns. A whole movie's comedy cannot revolve around puns.
I know.
But on Blu-ray, DVD, and video on demand this upcoming Tuesday is Iron Man 3. When Tony Stark finds his entire world reduced to rubble, he must use all his ingenuity to survive, destroy his enemy, and somehow protect those he loves. But a soul-searching question haunts him. Does the man make the suit, or does the suit make the man? And I saw Iron Man 3. It was pretty good.
Yes.
Did you see it? Wasn't it good?
Oh my gosh, so
I
great.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Some special features include an all-new Marvel short film centered on Agent Carter, as well as some featurettes and deleted and extended scenes.
And just in time for the upcoming spooks and haunts of the month of October comes a Blu-ray re-release of John Carpenter's classic horror film, Halloween. New special features include an all-new audio commentary with writer-director John Carpenter and star Jamie Lee Curtis, as well as an all-new featurette entitled The Night She Came Home, a documentary-style piece showing Jamie Lee Curtis attending a fan convention. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll fill you in on some Hollywood buzz.
The 7th and final season of Mad Men will air in 2 7-episode halves, the network announced this Tuesday. The first half of the season, dubbed The Beginning, will air in spring 2014. The second, The End of an Era, will air in spring 2015. Series creator and showrunner Matthew Weiner expressed enthusiasm about the storytelling potential of the 2-part final season. Mad Men debuted in 2007 and has since become one of television's most acclaimed programs, winning the Emmy for Outstanding Drama Series 4 straight times. It is nominated for 12 prizes at this year's Emmy ceremony. And just a side note, but Mad Men really is fantastic. And all 26 of you viewers who do watch Reeltv should definitely check out Mad Men too. After returning to form with this year's hilarious Monsters University, Pixar announced that they will let a summer pass without releasing a new film. The Good Dinosaur, originally scheduled to come out on May 30th of next year, has been pushed back 18 months to November 2015. The story is also delaying Finding Dory, the Finding Nemo sequel, from a November 2015 release date out to June 2016. Peter Docter's film Inside Out will remain on June 19th, 2015. The delay is not surprising, as Pixar recently removed The Good Dinosaur's director, Bob Peterson, from the movie with only 9 months to go before release. Pixar's president, Ed Catmull, explained that the studio hadn't been happy with the creative development of the film. After 22 years and 27 films, Disney and Jerry Bruckheimer have decided to end their partnership. The producer's first look deal with Walt Disney Studios will not be renewed when it expires in 2014, ending a run that resulted in 27 movies, from early hits like The Rock and Armageddon to the long-running Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and almost $9 billion in the box office receipts. Bruckheimer says the decision has to do with the types of movies he'd like to make, and is not because of the disappointing box office returns of The Lone Ranger. It's time for us to tackle all kinds of movies, not just Disney movies, Bruckheimer told The Hollywood Reporter. We're still working on Pirates and hopefully National Treasure, and we will still have development at Disney. Welcome back, and thank you again for joining us here on Reeltv. And now it's time for some trivia. With the Emmys coming up tonight, we here at Reeltv figured this would be a perfect time for a few questions. Question 1. Which two shows received the most nominations for their respective Best Comedy and Best Drama categories? Is it A, 30 Rock and Game of Thrones, B, Modern Family and American Horror Story, C, Modern Family and Mad Men, D, Enlightened and Homeland, or E, Girls and Breaking Bad? Yes?
I'm gonna go with B.
B? Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. The answer was A, 30 Rock and Game of Thrones.
Oh, man.
Don't worry, you'll get the next one. All right. Question 2. Which Netflix show received its first Emmy nomination this year? Was it A, Orange is the New Black, B, Hemlock Grove, C, Derek, or D, House of Cards? Yes.
I'm gonna go with D.
D? And you are correct. It was House of Cards.
Let's go.
Great. Well, that's a wrap for another episode of Reeltv. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I'm Brian C. Capon.
And I'm Brian Nicole.
Have a good night, everyone.